Awesome. Yay! I'm so excited, Dan. You guys, I've got my client Dan here, and we have just some really awesome things to share with you. I want to celebrate his success ever since he came into my life. I've been so excited to kind of work with him and just see how much he's grown and blossomed. And we have some pretty crazy news. So just a sneak peek of what he's been able to do is he's basically 4x his income in less than 3 weeks. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. But Dan, come say hi and then just tell people like a little bit about what you do and what your business is and what you want it to look like here in the near future.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Dan Maroney. I run the Dojo. It's a gym in Massachusetts. And I provide in-person and online programming and coaching. And we started working together a little under a month ago. Mm-hmm. We ended up doing a VIP day to start off, which was a long day, but like one of the best days ever. It is just having someone like Brooke immediately by your side. I think when you run a business, you get so stuck where it's like, oh my God, it's just me. I don't know what I'm doing. Who am I going to look towards? And it's nice as a coach to have another coach 100%. Where it feels like I have someone to finally like answer to. Yeah. And it's been amazing.
One of my favorite things about you, Dan, is how decisive you are. And then like once you make that decision, you're just kind of like, okay, let's do it. Like I remember our first sales conversation and we were just chatting back and forth to talk about your goals. And I was like, here's what I think is best for you. And you were like, okay, yeah, let's go. And then it was like, I love how you were like that though. And that's why I think that you were able to have like such this high level of success, truthfully, is because we kind of rearranged your entire business structure. And instead of you sitting here and being like, that's a lot of work, like, I don't know if I want to do that, like second guessing it, literally you took action immediately. And then not even 3 weeks later, you basically like, it's like 3.5 times your income, but it's basically quadrupled your income in 3 weeks, which is insane. But I want you to tell people a little bit about, what drew you to me, how you knew like working together was a really great decision for you out of anybody else. And tell me about that thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't actually remember what I had filled out, where I was, what I was doing, but I remember getting a text being like, hey, is this Dan? Yep, it's Dan. I just figured it was another client referral or something like that. And then introduced, who you were, what you did. Then I realized I'd gotten a few emails as well. Mm-hmm. And it just seemed, because it felt so out of nowhere, it felt like right place, right time, where I was looking for something like this, but not actively looking. So the fact that it just kind of fell in my lap, it was like, okay, we probably need to go into this a little further, just because if it's, the world's telling me that, yeah, you do need to make that move, then I'm going to listen. Yeah. And then as soon as we booked a call, that's when I was just like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. And that's why it was so easy to say yes to a lot of things, because it was like, this is stuff that I've been thinking about and mulling over for like a year and a half. Yeah. And again, like I said, just having the other person on the other side being like, knock it off, just do this and go after it was like the biggest, most helpful thing possible. Yeah.
Okay. So to paint the picture a little bit about, because you were really a quite successful business already. When we met, you were doing some really incredible things, right? So kind of paint the picture of where you were when you decided to start working with me, and then tell people about your biggest celebrations since then.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So the last year and a half or so, it's call it Corona or whatever. It's kind of just had me in this holding pattern of coming out of quarantines and whatnot. It was, okay, I lost my whole coaching staff. I'm going to work by myself from now on. I can do it all mentality. And it felt like every month, like, even though things were going well, there was a lot of like uncertainty every month, or like I was just barely hanging on to everything that needed to be done.
Well, and
And
energetically, I feel like you've expressed how spent you were. It was
yeah,
almost
of
like
course.
every
Yeah.
month you felt, on the edge of burnout. And something I remember you saying too is like you had clients coming in, new clients coming in, but you had almost the equal, if not more amount of losing clients as
Yeah.
well. So you're constantly in this like cat and mouse chase
Yeah.
of needing
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And even to the point where um expecting it more than trying to prevent it, or just being like, well, this month will be new, whatever. It's like, okay, it's a new month. We're going to lose 2 people. We're going to gain 2 people. And um, we're going to continue to just be stale. And it's funny because I kept telling myself, this is what I wanted. It's just, nice and even keeled is fine. But at the same time, like, there's a little voice in the back of your head. It's like, nope, I'm a business owner. Like, if I'm not growing, I feel like I'm dying. So like,
I mean,
it's like, as much as you try and like fight the urge, you're like, this is what needs to happen. Like, this is how it has to go. So that's when, like I said, that's when we got together, and even within one day of work, set up a whole new plan for the next year. And then instead of being stubborn like I usually am, right away it was like, okay, all this makes sense. This is exactly fresh like perspective. So jumped right in, made a big huge email sending it off to all my clients. Hey, these are some changes we're making. And even my wife to be at the time was like, you sure you want to press send on this? And I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm not doing this.
right.
Sent it off, and within the next 24 hours we had 10 people paid in full.
24 hours,
Yeah,
10 people pay in full.
yeah, absolutely.
That like
Yeah.
shows how valuable you truly are, which is so
Yeah.
freaking exciting. Oh my God. I just want to make sure people heard that. In 24 hours, 10 people decided to pay in full.
Yeah.
Boom. Love it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it was great. I wasn't expecting it either, just because, just like I said, like where my mind was for the last 18 months, like, and having some pretty negative energy towards everything. It was just like, all right, we're gonna fire this off, and then it was more, I'll damage control whatever happens, and we'll be fine, right? And because the math outweighed everything, anyways.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, the next day it's like, just text message immediately, like, hey, I want to pay in full. Hey, can we talk about the paid in full?
Yeah.
Hey, can you give me like 24 more hours? I need to move some things around. Let's do that. And, like you said, it was nice to finally get some sort of affirmation that, like, yes, I still am, valuable to people, like, there's worth there,
I think that's like one of my favorite things that you said. Obviously, we were celebrating kind of in our pod of clients and everything too. And one of my favorite things that you said was kind of that, working together was able to remind you of how incredibly amazing you are, right? And I think that we all kind of got stagnant, and that ebbs and flows in business, right?
Yeah.
And we sometimes get into an energetic, stagnant place
Yeah.
to where we start to feel less than, or we start to question, or we start to second guess, or even maybe have the entertain the ideas of maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Maybe maybe I'm not good at this. Why am I doing this? Right. And I love that out of everything, obviously, having a $31,000 cash month, and we're not even done with the month yet, is incredibly amazing. But, even our prior conversation just a few minutes ago, you were saying how much your energy is now shifted to, and you feel a lot more alive and excited. And that, oh my God, I was like, this makes me like emotional a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That is the most like priceless opportunity that I'm just honored to be part of that journey. And I'm grateful that you had that shift as well, and that experience too. So, all right. So, okay. Top wins, of course. Okay. One, you basically like quadrupled your income in 3 weeks, which is super cool. You had 10 people pay in full in 24 hours. You had 4 new clients already this month sign up. I think one of my favorite things that we created for you is the fact that we created a structure for you where you're getting paid literally for a whole year. And that is going to be like, I heard your concerns, and I was like, let's completely rearrange your whole structure. And I love that. But what's like your favorite thing about working with me? Like, if you were to tell someone about me and like what it's like to work together, what would you say your favorite thing is?
I would say just how just how freshly positive everything is. There's no negativity. No matter, what I say, right or wrong, you easily just kind of go at what I'm skirting around instead of just like, it's like ripping the Band-Aid off and just going after it. And like, just like I said, like knowing that I have somebody in my corner and like genuinely in my corner. It's not just somebody. I've had programs before where it's kind of just like, yeah, here's your stuff, get to work, and here's your 10 minutes of calls per week to try and figure it out. Whereas like there's, we spent a whole 8 hours together.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. And, that was in one day. I got more than I had gotten in the previous, a year and a half of work done. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
In one day. That's what I love about those VIP days. And that's like the route we started with. We decided, okay, we're gonna start with a VIP day. The reason I love those is we're able to collapse like almost 6 weeks of work into one day. But you were able to collapse maybe a year and a half of knowledge into one day, which is even more valuable. And that's amazing. What I loved is like at the end of that conversation, I don't know if you remember saying this, but it literally it made my day. So I appreciate you. But you were like, okay, well, Brooke, like now that you're here, like, I mean, I can't really have you go anywhere.
Yeah. Please don't go.
You're like, don't leave. How do we continue? And I love that, right? So it's always having that opportunity. I love that you saw the value and you were like, let's continue this work together. Let's do that. So awesome. If someone was like thinking about working with me or on the fence or jumping into any of my programs. So I know you're in Six Figure now. And so we've done some one-on-one work. We've done now we're just kind of starting in some group work and everything too. What would you say to them if they were on the fence or if they were wondering if this was the right next step for them?
I would say, don't hesitate. And even if you are hesitant, I think that's the first sign that you realize you probably need to do this.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It's as soon as you start doubting why you should be doing it, it's probably the exact thing you should be doing. I mean, even from like dollars and cents standpoint, it's like, okay, so what we did that day pretty much set up. And I mean, even that math is like, 20 times the amount or 15 times the amount. It's crazy, how much it paid off already. So it's like,
oh yeah.
If you're on the fence, just realize like you're getting somebody that is virtually invaluable. It's all the help in the world, and it's exactly what you need.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and obviously like that ROI is so important. And so that's why, like I said, my favorite thing about you is how decisive, and it's not even just making a decision, you just go after it. And I think if anybody can take anything from this conversation, it's like, okay, listen, be open-minded, listen with your whole heart, shift the things that need to shift for your benefit, trust, right? So you kind of were like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Trust that it's going to work out no matter what happens. Do the thing you need to do. And then like watch the rewards come. Can you imagine if you hadn't sent that email, or you would have thought like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Like that's $31,000 in cash.
And it would have just been more of the same and more of the, same negative mindset I could have sat there forever, until we did this and just circling around the same mindset. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad you said yes to yourself, and congratulations for that. And congratulations for like continuing to grow. It's such an imperative portion of entrepreneurship. And I just want to like applaud you as well, just for making the decision in the first place. But obviously there's a lot of really, really exciting transitions for you and what you're doing and your scalability at this point as well. So you're kind of doing things in person still, but we are, kind of bringing you online. So tell people like where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, what you might have for them, etc.
Yeah. So yes, hopefully expanding into online business more.
No, hopefully it is expanding into online business.
Okay,
yes,
we definitely are. Offering more programs, being able to expand into more, I want to say territory, but more areas of fitness is. There's so many things I do, but I need to be able to see more people to be able to help more people. And I think that's the thing I'm excited about the most is the opportunity to finally help more people than I thought possible, where it's like, okay, if I only help 70 people, that's great. But I mean, if it's like, 10 times that amount, it's like, that's amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's being able to finally put myself out there and, continue to reaffirm why I do this or I should be doing this, by being able to actually sell and sell well,
Yeah.
is something I really look forward to.
Okay, so I obviously like, and just real quickly, kind of before we wrap too, obviously like we're here celebrating your success, but I do want people to really know what it is that you do. So like, who do you usually work with when it comes to fitness? Like, what is the mindset of those people? Like, I know you work with some pretty awesome people as well. So tell people about that.
Yeah. So one of my main parts of the business is I coach Olympic style weightlifting. We currently have 20 total national medals as of the end of 2021. And one of our girls is actually in development for making a run at the Olympics in 2024, which is very exciting. And we also work with powerlifters and athletes of all sports.
Yeah. So cool. Okay. I wanted people to just know that, because we're planning to see, you never know when someone's going to see this and be like, I kind of want that. Let me get a hold of Dan. So awesome, Dan. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you for coming on today and just sharing your experience. And thank you for your kind words. Honestly, like working together has been so much fun so far. And I'm very excited for the next few months. And I mean, sky's the limit, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke.